Wire Road Studios is owned by a buddy of mine from high school. His name's James Kelly. And when I started playing music, 12, 13 years ago, a buddy of mine named Clay Cuvion, who I'd known since elementary school, was like, hey, James he's running a studio out of his house. You should record some music with him. He'd heard some of the stuff that I'd been writing. And so I hadn't talked to James in a while, so we reached out to him, and he was still recording out of his house while they were building Wire Road Studios. We worked out a deal. It's like, hey, let's cut an album. Let's just start recording stuff. And that was 2010. We recorded a lot over 2 years, which culminated in us actually being one of the first projects here at Wire Road. As they were building the studio, we finished our project here.
What's up, guys? Nate. Heading into Wire Road Studios today. We're going to be finishing up the vocal tracks on all the songs. Still under construction here, but everything's coming together. We'll take you inside, let you have a little peek.
So it's not random that we showed up today to record. We brought back a lot of the same players from the original album that we recorded in 2012. And once I set it up with James, I didn't know any musicians, so I got on Craigslist, and there was a guy that was advertising for fiddle. So I reached out. His name was Jody Bartula. So through Jody, I met a bunch of the other musicians. He brought in Kenny Jackson Jr., he brought Alan Huff on the keys. Alan Huff's played for Roger Krieger and a bunch of guys. He's a longtime songwriter too. Kenny Jackson Jr. is a great guitar player. We had Walter Cross come in on drums. He played in Nashville for a long time, played for Pam Tillis, and I think he played with Darius Rucker for a little while. We brought in just different people. We had Bree Bagwell sing backup vocals on a few songs, and it was really early stages. And Jody Bartula at the time, he was playing with some guy named Cody Johnson. They were just starting out. And honestly, it was a learning experience for all of us, because I was writing songs, they were playing music, and we weren't really good at recording music. And so we came in here, and it wasn't pretty, but we got the job done. And the album's called Crash Course for a reason, because there's a song on there called Crash Course with Lonely. And then also this was a crash course in music and recording and working with a full band and all these other things that I had to experience for the first time. So 2022 rolls around, and I realized, like, man, it's been 10 years since we did the Crash Course album. I thought it would be really cool if we could get the guys back in the studio and record some more tunes, just kind of as a 10-year reunion. And so called James up, got a hold of Jody, got a hold of Huff and Kenny, and they were all down. So Walt's back in. We brought Joey Pruski in on bass. He's Jody's buddy. He also plays for Cody Johnson in their band. And then we brought in Grace Partridge, who plays fiddle for me full-time at our shows. And she's 17 years old. She's young, but she's a national champion fiddle player. And so we assembled the squad back together with a few extra pieces. And just being back in the studio with these guys, like, it made us all so happy. Huff was like, man, I'm 61 years old, and just the fact that you guys gave me a call made me feel like I'm young again, and I love that music does that. And we're sitting here scratching our heads going, how's it been 10 years? It's gone by that quick. And so much has happened in 10 years, but we know, like, the next 10 years are gonna come just as fast. And so it's been real eye-opening. It's been fun to catch up with these guys. And it just makes me also want to work harder and make sure that I make the most of the next 10 years. Listening to the album Crash Course, you talk to Jody and Kenny, Walt, we all hear things that, like, we wish we could go back and redo the whole album. But we took the opportunity this time around. We plucked a few songs from the old album to do again. And then we picked a few new songs that we're going to throw out. And we decided to go ahead and do it live in studio all at the same time, just in one day. Whereas last time, we took probably 2 years of just setting it up in parts. This time we're just gonna come in and knock it all out in one day.